All right, so today's video, we're gonna be watching a Plat DPS player, all right? Plat DPS. Now, they're gonna start off as Mei, but they're gonna switch to other heroes. But they said that their overall goal is to be a Mei Maniac, is what they wanna be. They wanna play Mei in every game, they wanna dominate, but their teammates keep holding them back. That's what we're getting here. And to go further on this, not only do they think their teammates are holding back, apparently they went back into the VOD and reviewed this themselves and believe that their tank was the problem. I don't know if they lost or won, but apparently the tank was the problem. So, are the teammates holding them back? Was the tank the problem? Well, you're about to find out in this episode of, was the tank the problem in my Overwatch 2 rank game? Or was it my teammates that hold me back? Because I play perfectly. It's up to the YouTube. Seriously, because then you know when my videos go live, then there's more people watching the videos, which is a good thing. I don't really know where to end the intro now. Do I kind of just walk away and then kind of just do this and just kind of let the video go and then...
She's a maniac on the floor, and she's freezing like she's never froze before.
We got a Mei versus Mei too. So what is your tank on right now? Your tank is playing Zarya. Okay. Hourglass, thank you for the tier 1. Thank you. Appreciate it. Double checking. Okay. I was making sure everything's good with the wall. I wasn't sure if there was any structural damage here to the wall, but everything looks good. I just wanted to make sure. Okay. Good job getting the limb. Good job getting the Mei. Good job using the Mei wall. So far okay. I haven't seen where your tank has been part of the problem, but like this just started, right? We'll see. So far, it's been fine, though. Good rotation around. You said an ego VOD? I mean, it's already being described as an ego VOD, right? Like, this is not the type of ego VOD I think that you're thinking of, but, like, it's been described as an ego VOD. Like, they just think that their teammates hold them back and their tank is the problem with this game. I don't really think your tank's done anything so far that makes me think your tank has done something there. It's still very much a wait and see, that's for sure. I think we need to give it more time here, but yeah, it's certainly been something so far. Here we go. I want to see a good Mei wall. I was talking to you on Mei, not the other Mei. That actually might be pretty good. I'm gonna be honest with you, that was such a smart play. So I want to point out, by the way, there is a bit of an LOS to Mei ult. So what you did right there when you threw your Mei ult there is it actually blocked the LOS on one side. So they were able to just stay on the other side of the tree and then not get Mei ulted, right? So that's why. Like, that's why sometimes you can be in, like, the animation. It's because you're out of, like, this thing. Or, like, well, obviously this is the other Mei's ult. So you actually LOS'd your own Mei ult. Just want to point that out. That's why that didn't get any value. You literally LOS'd your own Mei ult and allowed for them to survive it. Now, your teammates are going to still probably win this team fight, which I want to point out, like, you basically wasted your own. The argument can be is it zoned him out a little bit, which I can agree, but, like, you basically just packed up your own ult. All right, here we go. Good Mei wall. Very good Mei wall. Good job there. Try to go for that same Mei wall in a second, and you win this point. I mean, you don't even need the Mei ult or the Mei wall. Perfect. Good job. You just got rolled. Oh, I can't believe your Zarya didn't bubble you in time there. That's what... I mean, there's nothing you can do there. That was just a good shot by their Mei on an angle. Yeah, I haven't really seen anything out of the Zarya. Like, that would make me think that, but like, chat, we're like 2 minutes into the game. Like, right now their team is rolling. My guess is this is what's gonna happen. Their team is rolling. They're either gonna win this really quickly, like on the first point, and then they're gonna get rolled again, and then that's where the it's my tank's fault starts to come into play, right? And I think that's what will happen. You are definitely playing Mei like you should play Mei, though. You're just making it annoying for everybody, so that's nice. Good ice block. Yeah, the Mei ult's been interesting. But, I mean, like, I will agree that sometimes you're going to have a bad Mei ult, but it still has value, right? Anytime you can zone out an area of a map, it's good. It doesn't mean it's, like, amazing. Here comes the ult. Easy Mei ult for you. I would just throw it. Yeah, I was gonna say. That was so close, but I mean, like... What did I do flats? I already forgot. Yeah, so I'm just going to pause for a second, and I'm just going to let you know this so far. I have seen nothing that your teammates are doing really bad right now. Keep in mind, obviously, if I went through each teammate, we would be able to find individual mistakes they're making, plays, etc. But, like, overall, I have seen nothing so far that makes me think otherwise. The first 6 minutes of this game, I'm not going to be like that. I'm not going to be like, oh, yeah, I think so far it's been fine. You said the Mei ult wasn't amazing? I didn't even do that on purpose. I'm going to be real with you. Should the Mei reload or melee a bit more? Yeah, probably. I'm watching. I'm watching. GTA Roleplay will be on the third channel today. Okay, so I do want to point out, they've gone Pharah against you, which, by the way, Pharah is a very good counter against the Mei. Look at a pretty solid counter, right? I will say, good job swapping. I know you said you wanted to be a Mei Maniac, but this is a good swap. So far. It's all starting to add up. The tank has swapped to Wrecking Ball. Which automatically, I feel like no matter how well you're playing on ball, your teammates will think it's your fault. Now, I'm not saying the ball is going to play Wrecking Ball well, but I'm curious to see where this goes. All right. And on top of that, there's a Doomfist who is playing well. So now we're seeing the, oh, this other tank is getting clear value. My tank must be failing miserably. Now you're on Cass, so you've already hero swapped again. But it's because they actually counter swapped on you. So I get why you did that. Now you're just mirroring. We'll see. It's also a good swap against the Doom. Nice job. Great pile drive by your Wrecking Ball. You know, I think the problem that happens with Wrecking Ball is like, it's almost, and this is something they obviously want to fix eventually. And I'm trying to think of a way to explain it. Is it that perceived value? Does that sound right? Like the perceived value you're looking for on Wrecking Ball? Where like, you don't see what your Wrecking Ball's doing for your team, so you automatically think your Wrecking Ball's not doing anything? Does that make sense? So like, they could all be turned around for your Wrecking Ball, but you don't know what they're doing, so you just think that your Wrecking Ball's doing nothing. When in reality, their team is turning around the whole time, which is leading you to a limbs, and you're not able to follow up. So, like, you think your tank's not getting any value for your team, and you automatically are going, oh, it's my Wrecking Ball's fault, when in reality, it's just your Wrecking Ball is going and doing... They're pulling the team away. Like you're seeing it right now. They get a pick on Cass. They're constantly turning away from the team. They go in with a pile drive. Like, they're doing these things that you're not seeing on your screen. So automatically you're like, it's my tank's fault. It's just clearing my tank. Because you're seeing their tank all the time, right? So, like, you're seeing their tank, and you're like, well, their tank's just getting all the value. Meanwhile, your Wrecking Ball's been in their backline for the past minute. Like, their team's turning around. They're getting Wrecking Ball outs. They're pile driving them. And you're like, well, what's going on? My tank. Now, granted, I'm also not watching the Wrecking Ball, and that very much could be happening, but so far, I'm still not seeing it. Okay? I would recommend at some point taking the high ground. Oh, yeah. Now, I want to point something out, because you're not seeing this, okay? And this is, I can already see what's happening. You're seeing the Doomfist in front of your face, and you're going, that's my tank. You don't want to know why all their team's back here right now? Because your Wrecking Ball was just in there the whole time. Your Wrecking Ball was in here, and they were all turning for the Wrecking Ball. And why was nobody there to help the Doomfist? Because the Wrecking Ball was back here. Are you seeing this? I'm talking about like the perceived value of what your ball's doing. Like, you're seeing the Doomfist thing, and the Doomfist is just popping off. Your Doom just walked in front of you, got high nooned. Your Wrecking Ball back here, right? Your Wrecking Ball here is in the back line, making them not look at you. Keep in mind, that could shift. Take the high ground. Okay, Wrecking Ball got the Pharah. Take the high ground.
You're playing Overwatch 2. What? I want to know something. I'm going to mute my other mic. Okay? Let me ask you a question. You're playing Overwatch 2, right? And you're on... What's going to be easier for the other team? Okay? The Cassidy on the low ground, or the Cassidy that's like right here going, come and get me, I'm up here, hi. They're all on low ground. What can they do? How's it going, everybody? You having a good day? They can't do anything. They're not going high ground. So how are they going to get the Cassidy if you're on the low ground? Okay? So this high ground all over here, this roof behind me, this roof in front of me is so key because now you can follow up on the Wrecking Ball. And they have to go for you. And if they don't go for you, then they don't get you and you just win. Or their Pharah can't take the high ground because you just have it. So you've been on low ground. I would say your Wrecking Ball is playing fairly well right now. And I don't think so far it's been on your teammates or your tank. Make adjustments to what's happening in the game. Don't be a low ground Larry the whole time and just sit there. I'm just saying it's just not. It's just high ground. I talk about all the time.
Look at me go!
Oh, sorry. I was saying nice shots. Your aim has been solid. That was my bad. I was saying, like, your aim has been solid. It's been good to see. Like, real talk. I've seen you hit some good shots. And in theory, your hero swaps have also been pretty solid based on what they're running, just so you know. Like, there's positives that we're seeing. Like, your shots have been pretty solid. All right. Well, there's something I've consistently started to see with tanking that I think, like I said, it's more of like that perceived value that I was talking about. It's like everybody expects their tank to play tank like Reinhardt. So in the moment their tank isn't playing like Reinhardt, because Overwatch 2 is just a little bit different. By the way, nice shot. I want to point, like, just to like point out again, your aim has been solid. So I will give you, like, it's been really cool to see. That was an ultimate that you chose to do. The first time, you got away with it. The second time, I don't think so as much. No, I do have a question. And this can be answered right now or in the YouTube comments when we talk about it. What do you expect from your tank in some games? Because I feel like I quite frequently get games where people are like, oh, it was my tank's fault. And then we watch it back, and I'm just like, I'm not seeing it. Like, what is the expectation you have of your tank? Okay, so basically they want the tank to create space, survive, protect support, protect DPS, kill everyone, and then never die. If we're looking at that, and that's the overall experience of any of those situations, and chat, keep in mind, when I ask this question here, like, give me your actual opinion on this one, right? Do you think that this tank so far has been the issue, or been an issue overall to why their team isn't doing anything? That's where I'm at with it, too. A lot of chat saying no. I think so far they've been playing fine. Now, granted, say the Wrecking Ball submitted their VOD, right? Say the Wrecking Ball submitted their VOD, and they were like, hey, I want to know what I can do better on Wrecking Ball. There's probably things they were doing incorrectly, right? More than likely, I mean, anywhere from bronze to high-end gameplay, you're still going to not play perfectly, right? And you try to minimize on those mistakes as you get better and play the game, etc. But, like, overall, from what I've seen, your tank has been playing fine. Like, I don't look at this and go, oh, yeah, you're right, your tank is feeding. We've had games where I have said, this tank is feeding. Like, you can see that the tank is causing issues there. This is not one of them, in my opinion. I really think that, like, your tank has been playing fine. You just kind of ended up being like a statue on second point and just stayed on the low ground. And when you do that, like, you're taking away so much value from what you can get and from what your teammates can get. And when you do that, it gives value to their team, and they don't have to adjust because you're just doing the same thing over and over and over and over. And if it's working, it's working. But, like, staying on the low ground clearly was not going to be the play. So they wanted Peel for the Doomfist. You know, I hate to break it to you, but, like, sometimes the D.Va isn't... I mean, not the D.Va, the tank can't peel for the Doom as well as you would want. So you know who the peel for the Doomfist is? The Cassidy. And you know who helps the Cassidy with that? The backline. Because if the Doom dives in and the Cassidy's able to prevent the Doom from getting value, then you're fine. You're not going to have to worry about that. And that Doom was going in solo a lot of the time, right? So the tank can sometimes help with the Doom, but, like, the Doom's a bit more difficult to peel for sometimes. It's not as easy as, like, just going in. Good job starting up on high ground. I'm happy with this. Clearly, there was something communicated to this tank because this tank is now shifted to a more defensive playstyle, which I'm seeing right now. I want to point out, for the majority of that, the D.Va backing up with you is the correct play. It's really hard as a D.Va there to go into their backline and do anything, so they have to protect you, and what the D.Va has to do at that point is buy you enough time for you to get in the limb. Now, what was the one thing that didn't happen there? Teammates didn't get in the limb. There's 0 limbs. Also, this is just a little bit of, like, a disclaimer for anybody who has a D.Va on their team, and obviously, for anybody new to, like, watching the YouTube or watching the channel, I have a lot of time on D.Va. I want to point this out. As a D.Va, you cannot expect the D.Va to eat every single Pharah rocket. D.Va will run out of DM. So a lot of the time, D.Va has to more kind of pick and choose what rockets will be eaten. If you expect your D.Va to eat every single Pharah rocket, it's literally impossible. Your DM will not keep up with it. So, like, if you think that, oh, I have a D.Va, Pharah should get no value, Pharah can still find that value. It's just working around the DM, and a lot of D.Vas, defense matrix management isn't going to be the best, so eventually the Pharah just gets value. Straight up. By the way, this is the high ground position I was talking about. You're there in Echo. This is where I wanted you to go on Cassidy. You know what? I think that's self-explanatory on that one. Good movement there. Nice job. What rank? This is flat. Okay, so everybody's running in 1 by 1. I can see your frustration right there, but there's nothing that, like, that's just good Doomfist gameplay. Your D.Va was in the backline initially, so you could argue your D.Va should have fallen back. I can give you that one. like initially, like your D.Va committed too far to the back line. But you were also, keep in mind, this started with you on Echo getting one shot to where your D.Va felt like they had to go make a play. So it's kind of like a 50-50 on that. Okay, so I wanted to see what happened to your D.Va. What your D.Va needed to do there was just go get rolled by that Pharah and reset. That's more on the D.Va. I was wondering what happened to him there. I just wanted to see. That's why the D.Va went down. It's because they didn't, like, get remeched on it. By the way, Chad, if you're ever in that situation and you're on baby D.Va, just let the Pharah get you there so you can respawn. Saw that coming from a mile away. I already was ready to have the song played. That team was just constantly just not getting on the point. I saw that coming from a mile away. It was so obvious that was gonna happen with the way they were. They obviously could have easily touched the point there. That was very lucky that your team was able to get through that part, because that was not looking too hot. Okay, let's see what happens. So, I do want to say, D.Va definitely struggled a little bit on third point there. Up to that moment, though, that was where I didn't see any really huge issues with the tank, just so you know. And even then, that was more of, like, that overtime stagger that can happen. Yeah. So, it's like, that part I can look at and be like, okay, see, like, we can look at all of those.
I try to focus.
I just love that. Gotta try to be a little bit more accurate with your hinders. You can really just dominate the Doom if you do that. That's something I'm noticing right away. Okay, they're on D.Va again, which I think D.Va's gonna be fine there. Okay, D.Va got the Life Weaver. I'm just watching what the D.Va's doing. By the way, what your D.Va's doing right now, I just want to point this out, is something that I will actually do. Where you start up here and you start playing angles. I want to point that out. Then they try to dive in your team. So, just to give you an idea, this part was good by the D.Va. This part's a little bit ambitious. So, this was good. This was good. Do not expect your D.Va to face tank in front of you in these type of situations. So, like, this was a little bit ambitious. This was good. I'm just showing you kind of, like, from your point of view, what I'm seeing from your point of view and what was good. Your D.Va might even get the Elim back there, but... I mean, the Genji's been having a good time right now. I would stay on this for a second. I would stay on Cass. I would stay on Cass. I think you're gonna be... Do not go...
Strike from above.
Alright. Oh wait, I think your Genji has probably died like 5 or 6 times. I don't even know if I'm over-exaggerating on that. Yeah, they're honest just hitting shots on you too.
Okay.
I'm telling you right now, like, I think you're like looking at... Oh, back to Cass. Sweet. So we just wanted to... You know what? I think we all respect what you're trying to do there. You just want to reset your ult charge. You felt like you were getting high noon too quickly. I respect that. That's great. And thank you for that. I appreciate it. Hope you had a great stream. Huge. I can already see what's happening here. It's funny because, like, So this is what's going on right now, okay? It really is that perceived value that I was talking about, where you see this Doomfist at all times and you think because of that, your other tank is playing bad. That's exactly what we're seeing. Like, just because their Doom is doing what they're doing does not mean that your tank is playing bad. You notice how your tank hasn't been on the kill feed the last few seconds? Because they were sitting there on the back of the point the whole time, making sure you even had a chance to cap the point, while a Doom, who is going in solo the majority of the time, is getting a limbs. That is not a tank problem, that's an overall team problem at that point. And even then, you're playing one of the few heroes that would be able to help get rid of that value, right? One thing I want you to work on, because I will say, to give you some positive notes on like what you were doing, your aim, for example. I saw some really good shots by you. I like really good shots. When you were playing Mei, you said you wanted to be a Mei Maniac. You played Mei fairly well. That was a good job. But here's the thing. You said you lost this game because of your teammates and your tank. Your tank was playing fine, in my opinion. It's just that perceived value where, like, don't hard focus on what your tank is doing in that situation unless you're just running in a straight line feeding. Focus on, like, what you're going to do after every team fight. Majority of the time, if I'm going to be honest with you, like, and this is what I want you to work on, because this will help you. And I've talked about this in spectators before. Stop doing nothing after a team fight is won. Because there comes to a point where, like, on second point defense, I think you could have just held second point defense the first time around if you just went high ground as Cassidy. But you never did that. You got the limbs, you won a team fight, you stood there. Start to think about your next move and think about where on the map you can go that's beneficial to your team rather than standing in the same spot. Okay? You will improve if you do that. Don't think this was on your tank, though. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button. Sub to all 3 YouTubes if you haven't. Like I said, we have a lot of awesome videos on there. We're doing pretty much everyday uploads in each of them. They have different stuff. I know people have been asking about ranked and stuff. That we've been uploading everyday ranked games pretty much on there. Outside of the GTA RP you're going to see this week. So, make sure to sub to everything if you have it on there. If you want to submit your own spectator, look in the description below. You'll see my Discord. My Discord is where you can do that. So if you join my Discord, you'll be able to submit your own spectating. Record these live on stream. You can see the Twitch chat right there, right below the webcam. Stop by if you haven't. We have a lot of fun on here. With that being said, hope you have an amazing day/night.